the Chinese, they already have plans. See, this is where those of us who are trying to make sense of all of this, Tim, have a problem. In that we hear the ministers stand up and say, China's reducing its emissions by X amount. Well, China's not doing that at all. We produce, about 50 gigawatts total in Australia. China's about 670. They're going to add about 450 to 500 over the next 20 years. What they're going to lose is about 200 gigawatts of power out of their old dilapidated coal-powered stations, but they're going to add another 450 or 500 plus 200 gigawatts, I understand, of renewables. So how is that an honest debate when people are saying China is cutting back when in fact it's increasing?
Look, can I just say I do know quite a bit about the situation in China because I chaired the Copenhagen Climate Council for 3 years, and we had major Chinese businesses like China Power International represented on our board, and we met with the number 4 in the Chinese Communist Party who laid out what they were doing. And can I say they're not acting through philanthropy or concern for the world. They're acting because they see that climate change is a threat to the existence of the Communist Party because of the social disruption that it might bring. But they are moving very quickly to deal with that issue. They've had a lot of very antique number 4 in the Chinese Communist Party who laid out what they were doing. And can I say they're not acting through philanthropy or concern for the world. They're acting because they see that climate change is a threat to the existence of the Communist Party because of the social disruption.
Paul at Ormiston writes this question. Recently, Tim Flannery claimed Professor Richard Lindzen was one person he classes as a reputable global warming skeptic. In all the world, is there only one person you think is credible on the other side of the argument?
Well, look, he's the only one that I would say, his science is very valued in the area of physics. The problem with Richard Lindzen, in a way, is that his politics is to the right of Andrew Bolt and Genghis Khan. So,
is that bad, though?
No, but I think what it does is
point then, and Dick writes me this email. Please ask Professor Flannery this question. With regard to global warming issues, why is it that the major advocates, such as Professor Garnaut, Lord Stern, Al Gore, and you, have no climatology credentials at all? Shouldn't I take more notice of Professor Stuart Franks, a man you'll know, who actually has the specific expertise, or is he on the wrong side of the, and I quote from the emailer, the awful contest between knowledge and ignorance, to which Professor Garnaut constantly refers now? For those who don't know, Stuart Frank, he's an expert, I understand, in hydroclimatic variability from the University of New South Wales and has written extensively on all of this.
Sure, yeah. Look, I think what we need to do is listen to Professor Garnaut because he has spent a great deal of time investigating this and has built on his own expertise in the economic area. And he has a lot of valuable things to say. But as I said, we're dealing here with the balance of probabilities. No one can know the future. We have to deal with this. As Rupert Murdoch said, we've got to give the planet the benefit of the doubt. How do we pay the appropriate level of insurance to make sure that we don't face a bleak future? And that
Well, including this one from Peter who asks, and I don't want to get bogged down with the figure, so I'll try and shorten it. CO2 is about 3.62% of the atmosphere. Man-made CO2 is 3.4% of that 3.62%. Therefore, 0.123008%. Australia is responsible for 1.5% of the 0.123008%, which is 0.0018462%. We are going to lower this amount by 5%, which equals 0.000092331%. You see, people are following this, Tim.
Well, I hope your listeners are, because I'm lost. I'm sorry.
Okay. He gets to the point now. So what's all the hoopla about? All the postulating, children dying, peacock strutting, evoking patriotism and the extreme urgency to pass legislation over 0.000092331%. For argument's sake, let's say my figures are at 100%. 0 multiplied by 100 is still 0. Final point, I'm going to spare you mentioning what America, China and India is going to do. We've talked about that. Because I won't be able to verify any of my assertions, and nor will the rest of the world. Let's say man is the cause. Is 0.0009231% going to fix it?
Well, let's have a look at that by medical analogy. Just say we took a terrible toxin, cadmium or something really, really horrid that could kill you, and it injected a minute amount in your body, 0.0031%, enough to kill you 100 times over, something like polonium-210, Now, what do you reckon? sometimes small amounts of things can have a big impact. And CO2, unfortunately, is one of those things which, if you increase the concentration by 30%, like humans have over the last 2 centuries or so, you do have an impact on the climate system. You trap more heat close to the surface of the planet, and that alters the sort of metabolism, if you want, of the entire planet.
You see, that's, again, it's one of those dilemmas, isn't it, for those of us trying to make sense of all of this. Sometimes the argument focuses